Hello everyone, this is Amy from her academy. Today I would like to talk about the 7 steps to getting into Goldman Sachs. I will be discussing this especially with TJ, who after working at Goldman Sachs, GRE, Mathematical Studies, has been guiding many people worldwide to Goldman Sachs for 17 years at Alpha Academy. Please join us. If you aspire to be at the top of Wall Street and want to join Goldman Sachs, please watch until the end. At Alpha Academy, for the past 17 years, we have guided many people towards top careers. University students, graduate students, and MBA students, many have come to us. Additionally, there are many who are already working and have entered M7 top MBA schools, top schools in the US, and top schools in OC. Alpha's track record, especially in the world of global finance, has propelled approximately 5,000 people into the global top finance world, into Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley's IBD, markets, and recently into FICC and equity, as well as engineering. Also into private equity funds like KKR and Carlyle, among others. Many people have also entered private equity funds, and Carlyle has partnered with us to host information sessions and networking events for MBAs. At Alpha, we support you in changing your mindset and actions so that you can succeed as a global finance business person. So far, in emerging markets, not only people from the US, but also international students have gone to top MBAs, and about 30% of them at Alpha have moved from emerging countries to Wall Street in the US. And then we support many clients from all over the world, including the US, Japan, China, Korea, India, and Asia. The main presenter is Mr. TJ. Mr. TJ is the CEO of Alpha Academy, Alpha Advisors, and the entire Alpha Group. Originally, he was fully sponsored to attend the University of Chicago Business School from a top finance industry position, and afterwards he supported M&A and IPOs in the IBD division of Goldman Sachs. And then truly a global impact. Well, many. He has maximized the potential of many individuals, leading them to success in global finance consulting and business corporations. So far, Alpha as a whole has guided approximately 10,000 students to career success. I conducted research in neuroscience at the University of Tokyo and then went on to Teachers College at Columbia University to study clinical psychology. Now, I am supporting everyone at Alpha Academy, particularly with studying GMAT, GRE, Mathematical Studies, and English Studies. I am running Alpha Academy, which provides support with maximum efficiency. For individual consultations, please visit the Alpha Academy website. There is a chat box there, so feel free to ask any questions or seek advice through it. You will definitely see the path to success, especially if you are looking to enter the financial sector with companies like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, or BlackRock. Please consult with us immediately. Today, we have 7 steps to the top of Wall Street, and TJ will be explaining it to us. I also plan to touch on TJ's career. TJ, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ. Yes, especially recently in investment banks, for example, asset management, hedge funds, and also private equity funds, activist funds, and so on. People from all over the world are reaching out to Alpha Academy wanting to join these, and we especially in that area. We have been supporting everyone in entering investment banks, asset management, hedge funds, and so on. We've been doing this for 17 years. And actually, for example, which companies to enter, which positions, and which departments to join, and how to strategize for that. From there, we work on cover letters, resumes, interviews, and higher view preparation. And also how to obtain references. How to obtain. It's very right now. Becoming globally competitive in investment banks, asset management, hedge funds, and private equity funds. Well, we are supporting, entry into these fields, and we are the world's #1 career support team. And especially recently with Trump, including the tariff issues. Well, Trump's original direction was to lower stocks a bit to make M&A easier. And until now, it has been Biden's world. Why? Well, including BlackRock, I think the strategy was to raise stocks anyway. Now, since it has become Trump, regarding Trump's, so-called financial policy, investment banks are drawing a lot of attention. So from now on, how to get into investment banks, or how to get into hedge funds, asset management, or private equity funds. And then there's the MBA, of course, at Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, Chicago. And I myself graduated from Chicago Booth and then joined Goldman Sachs. So yes, Wharton as well. Those kinds of MBAs, and recently financial engineering, specifically, for example, prestigious institutions like Columbia, NYU, Carnegie Mellon, or SNU for financial engineering, especially such as in what is known as the sell side. Traders, or like at Citadel, quant traders, or quant analysts in hedge funds. Many people entering these roles are also coming from Alpha. Well, among the various positions available, today I want to focus on how to get into an investment bank, particularly Goldman Sachs, where I also worked. Goldman Sachs is very popular, so I'll start with the very basic steps. I plan to continue releasing more videos like this, so please watch them, and not just watch. I will also support you specifically on how you can get there, whether you are currently in an MBA program, a graduate program, an undergraduate program, or if you are already working as a professional, including how to get into investment banks or firms like Goldman Sachs. Please feel free to consult with us. There are 7 points or steps, and I will explain each one in a detailed manner, in great detail. So the first one is, first, when it comes to how to get into Goldman Sachs, it's very important to enter top universities, graduate programs, or MBA programs. You might think, I already know that. If possible, aim for the United States. Entering a university, graduate school, or MBA program is crucial for getting into Goldman Sachs. For those who want to join Goldman Sachs in the UK, it's beneficial to enroll in finance-related programs at Oxford or Cambridge, or in engineering or data science programs. Many people also aspire to work in the United States in the future. For those people attending an Ivy League or a liberal arts college in the US is ideal. Of course, state universities are also fine, but it's important to stand out among them. I would recommend consulting with Alpha as you proceed. So the first point is that getting into a top university in the US is extremely important. The second point is to decide on a target department. As you all know, this could be department like M&A, investment banking, or securities divisions like FICC and equity. There are also departments like asset management, operations, and technology, including capital markets. Legal departments are also available. So many people who want to join Goldman, who aim to get into Goldman, often fail because they lack focus. This is very common. For example, if you want to get into investment banking, there are areas like M&A, fundraising support, and IPOs within investment banking. What do you want to do? Specifically, you need to determine what you want to do. For example, in securities or fixed income and equity, do you want to focus on fixed income or do you want to focus on equity? Do you want to be a trader or do you want to be in sales? There are many options. It's important to decide on that focus. This depends on your interests and also on the current situation. It also depends on the market itself, or rather the availability and how much demand there is for people in that area. So please feel free to consult with us about that. And the third point is, for example, when you aim to enter investment banking at Goldman Sachs, you need to acquire the necessary skills. This means obtaining them through school or programs, specifically knowledge in accounting, finance, and financial modeling. You need to develop the skills to gain such knowledge. That during the interview, if you have the basic knowledge, it's enough to be able to answer the interview questions. It's not like you'll suddenly be asked to solve a modeling problem on the spot, like in a case study at a consulting firm. However, you do need to understand the concepts, such as how the LBO model works. For example, when conducting an M&A, how do you determine the enterprise value? What discount rate do you use? And so on. There are various aspects to consider, so it's important to thoroughly study these concepts. And of course, also, for example, on the engineering side, recently from Alpha, there was a woman who received an offer as an engineer in Goldman Sachs's FICC equity. Such individuals are indeed focused on engineering and also on data analysis, among other things. Skills become necessary, so acquiring them at university, graduate school, or through an MBA is step 3. And at the same time, soft skills are also very important at Goldman. Yes, they are strictly evaluated. Generally, people who are considered smart or elites tend to focus only on hard skills. They look at both hard skills and soft skills. In other words, aspects like personality, leadership, and problem-solving abilities. That's why leadership stories are often asked about in interviews. So it's not just about being good at studying. Additionally, certificates like CFA or CPA are actively encouraged. Studying for them is important. This attitude towards learning is also very crucial. Yes. Next, please. Step 4 is about references, especially in places like the United States or the United Kingdom. Getting into Goldman is a very narrow gate, so for GS, Goldman Sachs, people involved, well, in other words, the employees, the current employees. And also getting references early from your school seniors or alumni, and this. Yes, there are often consultations and questions about how to obtain references. So I would like to discuss this in detail in the future. Alternatively, there is also Alpha's individual guidance. The individual guidance is conducted via chat, online, and allows us to support and advise you while communicating with us from anywhere in the world. We provide detailed instructions on how to obtain references there, so please feel free to ask. And of course, we also cover interviews and cover letters. resumes too. Recently, there's something like an AI interview called Higher View, which is often said as a preliminary or initial interview. And many people fail at this stage. Therefore, it's necessary to prepare for Higher View as well. At Alpha, we thoroughly prepare for this. Yeah, so please feel free to consult with us. Well, after overcoming all of that, you receive an offer. You get it. And initially, it's an internship. The summer internship usually lasts about 8 to 10 weeks, and gaining that internship experience is extremely important. After that, it's about step 6, which means work hard. Now, basically just work thoroughly. Now, that's what it means. It's like the epitome of hard work. That's Goldman Sachs for you. However, just working on your own isn't good enough. Goldman is all about teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. And while this is true for many places, well, anyway, it's a culture that places a strong emphasis on teamwork. It's about delivering results under high pressure. However, the skills expected from interns aren't necessarily about producing immediate results. Ultimately, and I'll talk about this more next time, in Goldman interviews, even for internships, you typically meet with about 10 to 15 people. So there's a remnant of the old Goldman partner system. The term partner implies a consensus-based approach. So, for example, if you were to interview with the IBD, the investment banking division, unless everyone in IBD says, okay, you basically won't receive an offer. So similarly, when you do an internship, your evaluation is naturally, everyone around you will be evaluating you, saying things like this person is good here or not so much there, whether or not to hire this person. When it comes to that specific discussion, the evaluation from those around you, well, everyone, if you don't get the go-ahead or the okay you want it, you won't be able to secure the return offer at the final point, which is step 7. Yeah. So only after going through all of this can you finally obtain a return offer from Goldman Sachs. So quite frankly, as we've looked through steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's a long journey. It's a long journey, but when you receive a full-time offer from Goldman Sachs and work there, it certainly means you are achieving the prestigious title of being at the top of Wall Street, one of the most highly prestigious positions in the world. And if you work there for 3 or even 5 years, for example, you can go to any financial institution anywhere in the world with excellent salary incentives and positions. Financial institutions around the world are eager to hire former Goldman Sachs employees. So this is the journey to obtain that status. From step 1, not to step 7. Well, up to step 6. Or is it step 7? Anyway, if you fill in until the return offer, you can think of it as a journey up to step 7. And of course, you can't slack off at any point. Yes, you can slack off, and people all over the world want to join Goldman Sachs. Even the most talented individuals prepare, but sometimes their resume writing is not quite up to par. Or the logic in their cover letter. Why Goldman Sachs? Why investment banking? Why engineering? That logic is, well, it might not be very convincing. Or they haven't secured references, or their references are weak. Or they made it to the internship but they couldn't convince the people around them. They couldn't deliver a strong performance during the internship. Basically, that's where everyone tends to fail. Each step is very important. If you can carefully and thoroughly produce high-quality work, you will definitely be able to get into Goldman Sachs. In the world, even if we look around on YouTube, for example, there are videos about interviews at Goldman Sachs, but there are hardly any people worldwide who truly understand and can explain how to succeed. So definitely, not just limited to Goldman Sachs, but also at Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, whether in Bangkok, America, or at BlackRock, at Citadel, or at any other place like Cake or Color, it doesn't matter where. If you truly want to enter the global top finance sector, then definitely to Alpha Academy. I would like you to first consult with us, starting from revising your resume and cover letter, then deciding where to apply. We provide support for choosing departments, which schools to attend, which graduate schools or MBAs to pursue, and so on. Of course, there are already people in MBAs, Ivy Leagues, liberal arts colleges, or Oxbridge, and I believe there are many of them. We also support those people, of course. Whether you want to get an internship or a full-time offer, there are various needs, so please feel free to reach out. We have been doing this for 17 years. Well, I myself was at Goldman, and well, I personally, when I went through interviews for investment banking, it wasn't just Goldman, but also Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and others. I received offers from all of them, including JP Morgan. So once you grasp the knack, you can definitely secure offers as well. Whether it's an MBA, financial engineering, undergraduate, or even a professional, you can definitely secure offers. However, when you look around, there are hardly any people who are properly teaching this. This has become very clear, so please feel free to rely on us. If you consult with us, you can say something like, in this current situation, I'm interested in applying to this department at Goldman, and everyone can consult with us in that manner. So please feel free to reach out. Whether it's through chat or other means, we can communicate and continue to support you. At a deeper level, we assist with the application process, from preparing documents, preparing for interviews, or going to internships, to eventually receiving an offer. From start to finish, we are there to support you. We run alongside you, ensuring that you become the strongest candidate possible. We will help you become a top performer, enabling you to secure an internship or full-time offer. Please feel free to consult with Alpha as early as possible.
Yes. Please use this chat to share your concerns or questions, no matter what they are. And as for Alpha support itself, from the initial career strategy planning where DJ was involved, to resume and cover letter preparation, finance and technical interview preparation, behavioral interview preparation, mock interview training and internship training, we cover everything comprehensively. This ensures the best ROI for our participants. All the participants have successfully entered the top finance world, definitely. I hope you all prepare early and thoroughly to enter the top finance world, like Goldman Sachs. We are waiting for your inquiries through our website or the chat box here. See you in the next video. In this series, we will continue discussing strategies. We look forward to your consultations.